Welcome back to Melodic Memories of Lights Monarch. I'm Casey, and excuse my voice if it sounds off at all. I had a weekend, to say the least. Kind of the reason this episode's a little late. It was my friend Gracie. Shout out to her. Happy birthday. You're another year older. Another trip around the sun. But I went a little bit too hard without realizing it. Didn't think I drank that much, but I was drinking on an empty stomach, and let me tell you, it is not great the next day. I had a very rough time, and my throat is still killing me. I suffered the consequences quite a lot, but I wanted to say thank you for having me, Gracie. Your party was a lot of fun, and Reese, thank you so much for taking care of me afterwards, because, yeah, what a mess I was. Anyways, though, to not dwell on that because it's kind of embarrassing, I just wanted to give a heads up all the same. It's been a while. I know it's only been a week, but it feels like it's been a lot longer. A lot has happened, and I mean, last time I spoke to all of you, was about the iHeartRadio. It was happening at the same time I was recording last time, and it seems as though not much really happened. I know Clancy, they did win their Alternative Album of the Year award, and of course Taylor Swift won a few awards here and there. She also ended up performing, or at least showing off, a performance of Mirrorball from the very first Eras Tour show, which was really cool because she did win an award for that tour being so iconic. But other than that, there wasn't a whole lot that happened, to be completely honest. I was expecting a bit more, but I mean, it was just an awards show, nothing insane. But I am happy that Taylor got some recognition. Obviously, 21 Pilots, that is huge because they don't get recognized often, or at least near enough, when realistically they should, you know? At least in my opinion. I know, bias aside, still though. I think the only other thing I could really touch upon is that Gracie Abrams, she won the Breakthrough Artist Award given to her by Billie Eilish. So obviously, icons supporting icons, that's what she said, she's an icon. And she was able to perform That's So True at the awards show, which honestly is very fitting. It is her biggest song, I would have to say. And I just props to her. Props to Gracie Abrams winning Breakthrough Artist after having such a crazy year. And this might sound stupid, but I had no idea. I found out this from my boss. I did not fact check it though, so please bear with me. If I'm wrong, fact check me in the comments or on my socials. Apparently, Gracie Abrams is J.J. Abrams' daughter, the director. I heard that. He told me that, and I was like, no way. It makes sense. They have the same last name, but I never put two and two together. So, honestly, really cool. So, congrats to her. And obviously, I have to mention before I move on from the topic two more things. Linkin Park, as deserved, they deserved this award. They won Rock Album of the Year for From Zero, which honestly, props to them. It was one of my top albums of the year. Not right at the top, but it was on the list. It was on the top 10. If you don't know, go check it out from New Year's there. But crazy to think that they were able to win. And not only did they win, but in a few days' time, on the 27th here, they have a brand new song dropping. And that is something I personally am extremely excited for. Linkin Park are back and they're here to stay. Like, they're not going fucking anywhere. And it's exciting. It's exciting to see that Linkin Park is still firing on all cylinders with this new singer, with this new kind of lineup. And the song drops March 27th, so right around the corner, literally right around the corner. And it is very, very exciting to see that they're just going for it. The new song's called Up From the Bottom, out March 27th, and they do have a clip of it on their socials. If you want to go check it out before it's actually released, there is a clip on their socials. Besides Linkin Park winning the Rock Album of the Year, I have to give props, again, as I've been doing almost every episode it seems, to Lady Gaga. Now, Lady Gaga, she accepted the Innovator Award at the iHeartRadio Awards of 2025, and I have to say her speech was amazing. It was a very long one, so I'm not going to get into it too much here, but what she said and all that she just stands for in general, props to her. I know she's probably always been like this. It's just an artist that I never really got to follow. I unfortunately never got on the hype train because when she was huge, I wasn't really into music that wasn't more of the alternative scene. I did go through that phase of like, oh, if it's popular, it's not cool. So I hate to be that person, even though I did like some popular emo bands. It had to be more on the emo side. And Lady Gaga, even though she is on the dark pop side, not so much emo. Some might fight me on that because I know some of her looks have been pretty emo, and I'm sure she's kind of a repressed emo herself. But all the same, it's an artist that I never really got to dive into. Huge respect to her though, because holy shit. She deserves an award. She deserves all of the awards. And Mayhem again is a crazy good album. So if y'all haven't heard it yet, stream it and go support her because she seems like a truly legitimate great person. So truly props to her. Congrats, Lady Gaga. I think that was everything that the iHeartRadio Music Awards really had to offer. There wasn't a whole bunch more. There was a couple different performances here and there, and obviously the Taylor Swift accepting the award and showing off the Mirrorball performance was probably the highlight to me, aside from the 21 Pilots win for fucking finally. But other than that, I wanted to mention MGK. Now, he's somebody that not a whole lot of people like. Maybe some people love him, other people hate him. But for me, personally, I like his music for what I've heard. And I wouldn't ever call myself a diehard fan, but I did kind of fall into his music, fall in love with his two pop punk albums, if you even want to call them that, the mix of genres that he likes to do. And he actually just dropped a song last Friday, I believe, or at least on the 17th, if that was Friday. Days blend at this point. But he dropped a song called Your Name Forever on, I believe, the 17th or 18th. And it was dedicated to his brother that he lost. Not actual brother, but brother, you know. His brother Dingo that they lost too soon. I don't know much upon him or what he means to MGK, but I did listen to the song, and it was a very heartfelt song, which is why I even mentioned it in the first place. It was just really nice. It was very nice to see a different side of him, more of a raw side. I know that a lot of his music does touch on the more serious side of things from here and there, but this song in particular, yes, it did touch on something pretty heavy on losing his friend. And not only was it just him, it also had Sinister Gates from Avenged Sevenfold on guitar and M Shadows in back vocals. I believe there was a couple other artists here and there that were on the song with him, but for the ones that stood out to me, those were definitely a few. So if you want to go listen to some MGK when he's not being kind of an idiot, not gonna lie, then go check out that song because it makes me excited to see what he's gonna release from here. Because he even made a few statements saying that he wants to be authentically him and he's going to show everybody that he is authentically him. And for those that call him down and call him shitty or have this misconceived notion about him, he's going to prove everyone wrong. So I'm very excited to see what he means by that and where that leads him in his music journey. Other than that, I forgot to mention Not Like Us won another award, Hip Hop Song of the Year at the iHeart Awards. Had to mention that because obviously it is Kendrick Lamar. Not Like Us is insane. A great song, I have to say. And also, some random thing here that I just had to put in because I personally love this game. It's a game that I grew up with as a kid, and thanks to my brothers, of course, but it's called Croc, Legend of the Gobos. Can't remember if I ever mentioned it before, but it is a brand new game, brand new remake, I should say, not a new game. It's from the PS1, and it comes out, the remaster, remake, whatever you want to call it, comes out April 2nd, and it's something I'm very excited for. I did pre-order the physical edition, not the all-out edition you could get, like there was one that came with a statue and stuff. I just wanted the disc, so I pre-ordered that a long while ago when it was supposed to come out last year. Got delayed, but, you know, what can you do? It's worth the delay, it's worth the wait. I'm excited, and I just wanted to share that because hell yeah, Croc is a feel-good game. And if y'all want something to feel good with, come April 2nd, play some Croc because it's an old platformer and just a cute, good feeling cartoony game. So give it a check if you haven't even heard of it. It's one that I love from my childhood, so I had to share. Other than that, Acres, my boys, the the ones from UK, Acres, they released a new song, and that song was called "Staring at the Sun." It came out on Friday. Oh, I don't even know where to begin with it. It's from the album The Host, which comes out May 2nd, and it's their upcoming album at least. This is single 2. Wow. Was I ever just like, I know Bloodlust was kind of the first taste of this album, but wow, is Staring at the Sun even better? I didn't know it was possible. They just keep on outdoing themselves. And I am very, very excited for this album. And if anyone that likes metalcore music and wants to support a band that is not very big yet, but is going to be, like, is on the road of, like, goodness, if you will, a success, go listen to them. And if you're in the United States or Canada, they're hitting up areas all across the continent. So go check them out at a live show too, because I've seen videos and they sound just as good. And I will be at the Edmonton show, so if anyone wants to go to that and come say hi to me, come on out, come support a great band. Yes, they are just the openers. It's actually a Devil Wears Prada show, but all the same, if you want to support live music, come on out and stream this song because it is definitely one of their best from their upcoming album, The Host. I'm very excited for it. I am just wanting it right now, to be honest. I would hope that it came out before my show, but unfortunately it doesn't. I would just love to be able to get the chance to hear some of those songs live because they're brand new, but whatever I get is what I get. I'm excited to see them, and I'm going to try to talk to the guy and get some questions answered if I have any to think of, and if I do get any answered, I'll let you all know here. Who knows? Maybe you'll even want to come on the podcast sometime. Anyways, I had to touch on Arcane one last time. I know Arcane, it is huge, and it is unfortunately over, but the music video for the song, I am not even going to try to butcher the title. Don't at me. The song that was the Jinx and Echo song from season 2. It got its music video. Came out March 20th. Very, very, very good. I got to watch it myself, and I don't want to give anything away just for spoilers' sake, but if you've seen season 2 and you want to go watch more of something to do with Arcane, this will fill that void at least a little bit, because I know it did for me. So just wanted to throw that out there. Brand new music video for one of the more beloved songs of the series, probably the most popular, alongside The Line and Heavy as the Crown. I know Heavy as the Crown isn't from Arcane, but it was still used in League, and the song was used in Arcane in one way, so, you know, it kind of fits. But anyways, other than that, we got Youngblood. He returned with his new single, Hello Heaven Hello. I have not heard it, but I have heard that it is like 9 minutes long, which is insane, as I never thought he had it in him to make a song that long, but who knows, maybe it's good. I will check it out at some point. I just don't know when. If anyone has anything to say about it, though, let me know at my socials, at Lights Monarch. Hit me up. Also, something I have to touch upon is Zack Snyder's Justice League. It turned 4 years old 6 days ago. That is insane. I can't believe that something I spent years and years and years. So let me backtrack a little bit to when Justice League, the movie, came out. I'll only be brief on this because I don't want to spend too much time. When that movie came out, the original Justice League, we'll say, it was terrible. Something on it seemed off. The jokes, Batman cracked a joke, not in character. It was weird. And then we found out later, not long later, but a little afterwards, that Zack Snyder had a cut that never got to see the light of day. And since then, it was pushed to see the Snyder Cut. #release the Snyder Cut. If anyone was around in the time that it wasn't out, That was the movement, if you will. And they raised up a bunch of money for suicide awareness because Zack Snyder's daughter, rest in peace, she left from suicide. And I won't touch on that any more than that, just because it's a touchy subject in general. But Warner Bros. Being kind of a shitty company, just kind of used it as an excuse to get rid of Zack Snyder. And yeah, he eventually was able to release his own version, his own vision of the Justice League called Zack Snyder's Justice League. And it is probably, no, most definitely my favorite superhero movie of all time. Yes, it is like 4 hours long, but if you have the stomach to sit through something that long, or can at least take a pause and take a break instead of, binging it all at once if it's really that hard, it is something that you will not regret watching. Granted, you should definitely watch Man of Steel and Batman v Superman, the Ultimate Edition, before watching Zack Snyder's Justice League to get the whole story. And unfortunately, it is a story that is not going to reach completion. There were supposed to be more parts to it, but I'm not going to go down that rabbit hole. It is a deep one. If anyone wants an episode on that, I can definitely go very deep on that because I do know quite a lot about it. But it's 4 years old, and I just had to give it its time of day that, hell yeah, we made it happen, and I am so proud of the community in order just getting that out. I know it's on HBO Max. You can buy it on 4K. I have the 4K set of Zack Snyder's trilogy. Should have been more than a trilogy, but, whatever. I'm not going to get into it right now, but it is something that I'm very humbled to say happy birthday, happy belated birthday, Zack Snyder's Justice League. That movie, the fact it exists, means so much to me. And even though I wish we could have seen more, I'm going to be hopefully optimistic to see what James Gunn brings to the universe with his Superman movie and following his Batman movie and everything else he has planned for that universe. We'll see what he brings. I'm not going to count the eggs before they hatch, but all the same, happy birthday. Also, Spirit Box, Tsunami Sea, that just came out, yeah? It was a great album. I talked about it last episode. If you didn't listen to that one, go check it out. Because right now, I think this was posted maybe on Monday, Tsunami Sea on Billboard, they were able to get number 1 current hard music album, number 2 label indie current album, number 2 current rock album, number 3 vinyl album, number 3 current digital album, number 3 digital album, number 4 independent album, number 4 top albums, number 4 current album sales, number 4 album sales, number 4 internet albums, number 6 indie store album sales, and number 26 on the Billboard 200. And specifically for Canada, since that's where I'm from, we made it number 1 hard music album and number 3 digital album. So just wanted to give those. Sorry if that sounded like a bunch of rambling nonsense, but I needed to say congrats to you, Spirit Box. You released a hell of a good album, and it's one that I'm still spinning, I'm still listening to every single day at least. If I don't get a chance to listen to it, I try to the next day. It's been one that has been growing on me even more than when I first heard it, and I'm just very happy with what they were able to release. Something very emotionally charged that honestly doesn't usually get recognized from that kind of community. Most people that don't listen to metalcore music or that kind of genre, whatever you want to label them as, most people that listen to that kind of music, or don't listen to that music rather, don't ever give it the time of day or even think that it has any emotional value to it because they see it nothing more than just screaming. And I have to be someone to say, I'm sorry, but you're wrong. That music does have a place, it has a voice, and it deserves to be heard. And I'm glad that Tsunami Sea is getting heard, that Spirit Box is really pushing forward, and it's just honestly a very good start to the year of what should be very big releases from some very big bands like Sleep Token, Bad Omens, Dayseeker, and obviously my favorite, Black Veil Brides, which I need to touch on, but I'll get into it in a moment. Other than that, Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind, one of my favorite movies of all time, turned 21 years old this year. Absolutely wild. It is only a few years younger than me, which kind of fucks with me a little bit, but all the same, I'm very, very happy that that is a movie I was able to watch. Because if you all haven't seen it, whoever's listening, please go watch it. You're doing yourself, honestly, a disservice if you don't, because it is so, so good. Obviously, go in without, like, if it's been overhyped to you, don't listen to the hype. Just go in with an open mind. That's all I ask. Go in with an open mind, see what it has to offer, and it is really something that you won't regret. Otherwise, happy first day of spring, which happened last week. Can't believe spring is finally here, even though in Canada it's not actually here until after May long weekend, at least here where I live. But it is something that is really bringing up spirits of everybody, definitely bringing up my own spirits. I'm glad that it's finally here. I'm hoping that it means nice things to come, aside from just music. The weather has kind of brought me down every so often. Obviously, people get depressed in the winter. It's just something that happens. But spring is here. Happy spring to you all. Go out, enjoy the sun, touch some grass. For fuck's sakes, touch some grass. Also, though, Dead, D-E-D, the band, they released a new single, Until I Die, featuring Chris Motionless from Motionless in White. Had to mention that because Motionless in White is a band that I personally do very much like. I don't know them very well. I know all of their stuff. I'm not a diehard, though. I don't listen to them every day. I've never been crazy into them, but for what I know of them, I like them. And the fact that they're on the verge of making a new album, too, not probably going to come out this year, maybe next, but it's exciting. It's an exciting time for music of that genre. And I know some people shit on them, especially Ronnie Radke. But, you know, I think personally, if they make good music that speaks to people, and I personally believe people can change. I don't know the whole story or situation of behind Motionless in White or Chris Motionless and what his beef is with Ronnie Radke, but I am very happy to say I like them. And if I have to retract that at some point, I guess I will have to. But for right now, I like their music, and if they are good people, then I will continue liking their music. And honestly, when it comes to music, sometimes you can separate the person from the art. And not all the time, mind you, but sometimes you can. So take it with a grain of salt, but Motionless in White, Chris specifically, is back with D.E.D., Dead, with a new song called Until I Die. It was actually very good. I did listen to it. Not a huge D.E.D. or Dead fan. Again, that's why I don't even know how to say it. Just happy that they're finally out there making some new stuff, and I hope that it's getting Chris along to hopefully inspire a new Motionless album, since they have said that they're working on it. Also, God of War. Anyone know what God of War is? It is a video game by Santa Monica Studios, a PlayStation title, if you will. It turned 20 years old. Whew! I can't believe it is 20 years old. It's a video game that I remember playing. Not when I was super little, but definitely too young to be playing it all the same. And it turned 20 years old. It just wows me that it is that old. And I know 20 isn't that old. I'm sorry to everyone out there that is older than 20. But when things turn that age, and I'm only 25, turning 26 next month, it really just kind of hits me of like, holy shit. Time isn't stopping. It is something that will never stop. And it's kind of freaky. But if anyone does know of God of War and likes God of War, I can't say it's still available, but if you do some searching, I'm sure you can find it. The whole entire series soundtrack, from God of War 1, from the PS2, all the way to God of War Ragnarok for the PS5, the soundtrack has been released in a box set on vinyl. That is something that I probably would have bought myself, but I don't currently have the funds, and it's also American money, so it's even harder for me to get, especially with everything going on in the political climate. I don't even want to get into that. But it's something that exists. I seen it posted on Twitter. Go look for it if you want it, because it does seem very cool. It would honestly be really cool to own as a fan, and any fan out there that loves music and loves that series, go buy it because I did it for Kingdom Hearts and I don't regret it one bit. Also, I have to touch on Panic at the Disco. One of my favorite bands, or favorite non-touring together bands. I don't know how to even put it. One of my favorite bands anyways, Panic at the Disco. Pretty odd. That album, their best album in my opinion, it turned 17. Another thing that is just getting up there and getting a little bit older. It kind of just makes me cringe a little bit, and I just hate that I'm getting old. I think that's all it is, so please bear with me for my nonsense. But Pretty Odd turned 17 years old, and it is personally my favorite album of theirs. I was going to say song, but favorite album of theirs. And if anyone wants a track, I'll just shoot one off the top of my head. When the Day Met the Night. Go listen to that one. It is one of my favorites. It's one that I've definitely latched onto. And I could also say The Green Gentleman, or That Green Gentleman, I think it's called. That one is one that got me through a bit of a rough patch when I was a teenager. So go give those a couple songs along with the lead single 9 in the Afternoon. If you don't know that one, then what are you doing? But go give it a listen because it is one of their best. It is definitely different from all of their discography. So if you never liked Panic and you hadn't heard Pretty Odd, give that a shot, and it might be at least an album, at least one, that you can vibe with and enjoy. Otherwise, though, Water Parks, they also, not necessarily the whole band, but they collabed with Dylan Francis and Albert Hype on a new track called Forget. And that song, I didn't listen to a lot, but it was one that I did enjoy. I just kind of had to touch on it because I personally love Water Parks. And I'm excited for them to finally come back whenever that might be. I've never seen them live, mind you, but they will eventually come back with new material, new music. And it's something that makes me excited because I personally, as I just mentioned, love them. And I want more fucking Water Parks, okay? They were teasing some stuff, and then I'm not sure what happened. It was kind of unfortunate to see it not really go anywhere, and then it just kind of faded off into nothing. All the same, though, they released a new song. I thought it was pretty good. And if you want another Dylan Francis song to listen to, go listen to their collab with Panic at the Disco. Because, oh, was that one ever good. Speaking of Panic as well, I know I already mentioned them before, but Vices and Virtues, one of my other favorite albums of theirs. I know it's one that usually gets forgotten, but it was produced by John Feldman, the guy that produced Wretched and Divine and Veil for Black Veil Brides. Of course, I'm going to know who that is. They released Vices and Virtues 14 years ago. It is 14 years old. Holy shit, it can get a learner's license. That is insane. Not even to mention that, but The Hunger Games, that's 13 years old? Excuse me? I mean, the movies at least. I can't speak for the books, but I know the movies. They're like 13 years old. That's wild. I just finished finally watching those movies, all of them, last year. Yeah, I'm a little bit behind, okay? Cut me some slack. Not only to mention all of that, but it is Aries season. It is going to be my birthday. I'm not super into the stars and everything like that. I don't know a whole lot about it, but it is Aries season from the 21st to the 19th of April. Happy Aries season, my fellow Aries, because I am one of the same. Just wanted to kind of mention that because it kind of made me smile. I seen Pac-Man, the Twitter for Pac-Man at least, they posted a little Blinky with little ram horns and stuff for it, and it was just really cute. If you like Pac-Man, go check it out because it was a cute post. But not to mention just that, I have to say a Goofy movie, one of my favorite Disney movies, because I do adore Goofy, my son, he is getting a, not necessarily a new movie, but a new documentary on a Goofy movie. It is coming out April 7th on Disney Plus called Not Just a Goof. It is a Goofy movie story, apparently, and it's a documentary about true underdogs. I'm very excited to see that because I don't know much about the Goofy movie aside from just watching it, and it is, as I said, one of my favorite, absolute favorite Disney films ever. Goofy is one of the best fathers in animation, and if you want to tell me otherwise, fucking fight me, because I will stand up for my son any day of the week. Anyways, All American Rejects. They're a band that I haven't talked about much at all, but I did get to see a little bit of their set at When We Were Young Fest back in the day, at the first one that I went to. First and only one so far, until the end of this year, fingers crossed that I'm allowed across the border. But the All American Rejects, they have revealed that a new album is coming soon. Not a whole lot is known about it quite yet at this moment, but the band will release the first single from it, called Sandbox, on April 24th. Now, that is right around the corner. I know it's a month away, but realistically, the way that life moves so fast, it is right around the corner. And it's going to be their first full-length release since 2012, their Kids in the Street album. And on top of that, they're also hitting the road with the Jonas Brothers. Like, they're opening for them. I don't know exactly who all is opening that. I just seen that briefly in a post. And I thought that was kind of wild to see because I didn't think that the Jonas Brothers were bigger than them, but it makes sense. The All American Rejects aren't really a band that has been active in the past few years, but the fact that they're back and went back on saying that they weren't going to make a new album is really cool. I'm very excited to see what they have to offer for a more old, jaded kind of view set. I'm not saying that that's what all the songs will be, but they are older, and that can't be denied, and I'm excited to see what that age brings to their music. Only a couple more things I wanted to touch upon. I have to mention Eminem. 22 years ago, he became the very first ever rapper to win an Oscar thanks to Lose Yourself from the movie 8 Mile. I just had to touch on that because I know it's just like a short thing to say, but Eminem, what a legend. I can't believe that he is still going. And still going strong, mind you. I know that he's changed in a lot of eras throughout his career, but it is something that I have to say I am impressed. Eminem, you keep killing it. And congrats on 22 years ago winning that Oscar. I can't believe it's been that long. And it's a song that really stands the test of time. It is one of the songs that I would have to say needs to be in a time capsule, that if the world ever went to shit, that's something they should hear because it is an amazing song. And I don't know if people would understand it as much without the outlook of living life as a human being, but it is a song that I think everyone knows, or if you don't, you should. It's one of the best. It's one of the greats, and he is one of the greats, so had to give him a shout out. The last thing before I really get into it, last couple things rather, is that Electric Callboy, they released an acoustic cover of Crawling by Linkin Park. Electric Callboy, the the audacity of this band. They have no chill. They're either completely silly and random or completely serious and like that. It is crazy their depth and range, and the cover really surprised me. I can't say it was better than the original. I don't think anything will ever top the original for anything Chester was able to sing. But if you want to go check it out, I would recommend it. Electric Callboy, they prove that they are more than just a silly band. They've actually got depth. They've got some people in there that know what they're doing, and it impressed me and surprised me when it was announced. Also, The Office, just today, mind you, as I'm recording this, it turned 20 years old. Woohoo! 20 years ago. I know, again, 20 isn't super old, but The Office is 20, which is wild to me to think, because it is one of my favorite shows. And everything that I personally love is kind of getting old. And I know time never stops, and it never will. But it's just something to think about a little bit, that it's 20. And any of you that love The Office, go make a post about it, go celebrate it. It's 20 years old, and soon its legacy might be tarnished. I'm very hopeful that it's not going to be, but I know that they're going to try to milk the franchise some more, and I would assume it's going to be soon to kind of capitalize on the fact that it just turned 20. So I wouldn't be surprised if we started seeing some more announcements in the coming days or months. So keep an eye out, but just fingers crossed alongside with me that The Office doesn't get its legacy ruined. Other than that, Fall Out Boy. The boys of Fallout. They released their album, So Much for Stardust, 2 years ago today. Ain't that fucking something? 2 years ago, I remember the build up to that and actually waiting. Just like, oh, I was there for when the second track came out. I can't remember which one it was. The Heartbreak Feels So Good, I believe. Heartbreak Feels So Good. That song, whatever was track two, I remember it coming out and it was titled as track two on Spotify. It was such a meme in the community that they ended up making a brand new shirt to be bundled up together with the album that showed the track list, the entire track list, but kept track two titled track two. Like, very meta humor, I guess, if one could say so. But it's just something that made me kind of laugh because I was there for that. And anybody that wasn't, they won't even understand what I'm saying. But hell yeah, Fall Out Boy for making an album that really was unexpected, but so good. They really killed it with that one. And if they ever release a new song, a new album to come, I think that we're going to be in store for something great because that was an album that honestly exceeded my expectations and I think a lot of people's expectations even more so. Granted, I was someone that liked Mania, so crucify me if you want, but Mania personally, I love it. So Much for Stardust, it's up there as one of their best though. Definitely of this later Fall Out Boy era, it stands the test. Also, I need to say, Toy Story, it turned 30 years old. Let that sink in a little bit. I know I was making a big deal of all the rest being like 20 or 14 or, even the one that turned 2. This turned 30. And they're making more. They're making a fifth Toy Story. Why? Honestly, why? I know that I personally adore Toy Story. Do not get me wrong. But the fact that they're making a fifth one, I can never wrap my mind around that. I don't know why they are making a fifth Toy Story movie and why they think it's a good idea. But happy anniversary, Toy Story. My literal childhood, the movie that my mom said I would watch every single night and just constantly. It is a movie that I personally would have to say is my favorite animated movie from Pixar specifically. I'd say in general, but that would require a little more thought because there's some really good ones out there. But Toy Story is one that is going to stand the test of time in my heart. And I'm sure same can be said for everybody that grew up with it, especially the run of 1, 2, and 3. To me, I'm fine if that was all that ever existed. Because, oh my god, the third one makes me cry, literally sob like a baby every time I watch it. So, anyone that likes Toy Story, go celebrate by watching it on Disney Plus or go pop in the Blu-ray. I don't even care. Get some Toy Story loving on because it turned 30 today. And as unfortunate as it is, we are getting a fifth one. I hope it's good. But I will stay hopefully optimistic, if you will. Also, Final Destination Bloodlines, the newest in the franchise. It is getting a trailer tomorrow on Tuesday. For anyone that's listening, if the trailer's already out, go check it out. Who knows if maybe the movie's out by the time you're listening. But the movie hits theaters on May 16th. And I have to say, from what they're showing of it, it seems pretty cool. I know they only showed the one full trailer and the little teaser for it. We also got to see the legend, rest in peace, may his soul rest in peace, Tony Todd. And I didn't even recognize him in the photo, but he's the guy that plays Death in the movie. And personally, I think that you can kind of see that he was on the verge of just kind of struggling and not fully healthy. It's sad to see, but he's a legend. So I'm glad that he's finally, this is coming out to finally see him in probably what would have been his last work. I'm excited for that reason alone, alongside the fact it is another Final Destination movie. And being that he is unfortunately passed, I would hope that if they don't make some canon reason that they kind of end the franchise at this point. If not reboot it after this, if they really need to make more money off of it and milk another franchise. But just out of respect to him and because he is death, like that's how a lot of people know him as. I would hope that they could kind of respect him and just make this like a, if not the last Final Destination movie, at least throw something in the credits to really send home, like, rest in peace, and just kind of cementing his legacy in cinema. I know I mentioned a while ago that we were getting to the last few things, but now I promise it is the last few things. I have to touch on this because it's Evanescence and Devil May Cry. Two of my favorite things. I know Evanescence I'm not super into, I can't lie. But Devil May Cry is something that I've always been intrigued by alongside Evanescence. They hold a similar place in my mind. And the fact that it actually came out just today, that they announced their new single, Evanescence did, called Afterlife from the Netflix series that's coming out for Devil May Cry. The song itself hits streaming this Friday. And the series for the Devil May Cry on Netflix comes out this Thursday. Hell yes. And if I got any of that wrong, I apologize, but it is something that I'm excited for. The clip of the song sounded fucking sick. And new Evanescence, I cannot complain. Also, Bad Omens have been seen in the recording studio from one of their most recent posts. Very cool. And it makes me excited to know that they are really making progress and hopefully have new music by the end of the year. Because I think that they are a band that deserves the amount of praise that they get. I know they're one of the more kind of, you say you like Bad Omens and you're called just a generic kind of fan or don't have taste or whatever. I don't understand why. I think they deserve all of the hype that they get. I'm very excited to hear what they've got to say and got to sing. I am excited alongside Dayseeker, of course. Also saw 11. I know it was originally said to be a little bit of canceled, to say the least, but Billy the Puppet, yes, Billy the Puppet himself, actually came out and released a statement saying that he's seen the rumors and they say it's game over. You all should know me better than that. The game is never over. So that is something that made me kind of hyped, a little cheese, like, like, what do you mean? Like, very exciting to know that Saw 11 might actually happen. It's just going through some production hell, I guess, as a lot of movies do. I hope it doesn't go through too much hell to where it just, like, loses what it could have been. But I am still excited and want to be optimistic for it. Whether or not it'll be any good, I guess we'll see. And the last thing before I get to the big thing I wanted to talk about, Invent Animate, a band that I do enjoy, their Bloom in Heaven split EP that they're making with Silent Planet, it arrives in 3 days. Yes, 3 days. Alongside their co-headlining tour, of course. It comes out like they're going on tour pretty soon, but the whole EP comes out in a couple days, and it's something that I'm very excited to hear what they have to offer. I know there's a few singles out already, but that's kind of all we know. And all the same, it is something I personally am quite excited for. So go give them a listen if you haven't before. And other than that, the big event of the evening, if you will, what I wanted to talk about the most, Black Veil Brides. My favorite band on this earth. They are coming back. Ascension. Oh my god. Okay, so it's not a song. But they had a countdown on their Instagram. Anyone who's not following them, go follow them right now and become a part of it, because they had a countdown on their Instagram. It counted down till 9 a.m. on Monday. 9 a.m. on Monday, March 24th. And that countdown ended with a brand new video. And the video itself, titled Ascension, just went on very eerily and very almost demonic. I don't even know how to say it, but this is the message that it said in the video. You were never meant to belong. The world cast you aside, erased your name, buried you in the dirt. They took everything and left you with nothing. But you are still here. There are those who wait for justice, and there are those who take it. The outcasts do not wait. We do not kneel, and we do not forgive. We rise. This is your initiation. The first trial begins now. 9 tests will decide your fate. Fail, and you will be forgotten. Endure, and you will ascend. Your first choice is simple. Do you accept the path? And then, after that, you have to message them, I am ready to continue, or turn away, remain nameless. Something that very exciting. I know I got goosebumps just reading that, to be honest, because I only watched it a couple times, but I had it on in my truck when I was first driving, because obviously I drive for a living, as I'm sure you guys know, I'm sure I've talked about it, but this makes me very excited. We need to ascend as outcasts, and I personally wrote in the message, I am ready, and what I got back was a new message from them on Instagram, and the message said, you have chosen the path. There is no turning back now. Your first trial begins tomorrow. Watch, listen, and be prepared. The outcasts are watching you. That makes me so excited. Like, you have no idea. And granted, the video, if you go watch it on their socials, it is a lot cooler than listening to me say it, I have to admit. But, because it has like a lot of freaky music behind it, and it is very, very unsettling. It makes you wonder, like, what are they creating? Like, this is a world that they are bringing us into as listeners. And the fact that we are able to take part of it and walk the path of ascension with them, as they so say, makes me extremely intrigued. And I cannot wait to see what is tomorrow. I have 9 tests, and I'm going to try to make through all of them, because they are my favorite band. I feel like I owe it to myself, especially my teenage self, to push on through and see what the fuck they have to offer, and really just kind of be a part of it. And also, in the email, you did get an email too if you did message them saying, you have chosen the path, there's no turning back now. The same thing that you would have got on Instagram, all the same. Go do it. If you're a Black Veil fan, come join us and walk the path of ascension, because we are the outcasts, and that's what it is to be Black Veil Brides. We are the outcasts. I'm so excited. It makes me want to fucking just bang my chest and yell, we are the outcasts, because it's a movement. It's something that means a lot to me, and I've always been a part of their fandom, of the BVB army, and the fact that they are coming back, and in this way, in such like a different kind of way, a very intriguing and inspiring, or at least an inspired kind of way. Like, they're creating lore. They're giving us lore. We're going to be a part of whatever this is. And it kind of honestly brings me back to Wretched and Divine, because Wretched and Divine had a very similar kind of thing that was faced with religion and being a part of fear or being a part of the rebels. And this has some similarities. I can't say how many, because this is literally all we know, but new Black Veil is on the way, and we got 9 tests to go, so I won't be able to talk about them again until next Monday. All the same, though, I will share whatever the hell's going on come next Monday, because it is something, probably the something, that I am the most excited for, because it is Black Veil Brides. It has been so long since we've heard them before, like since, at least. And oh my god, they are actually coming back. They are coming back in a way that I didn't expect, and one that is eerie and cool. I'm hyped. I am straight up hyped, and I could probably ramble on about it for a long time and just kind of say the same thing, so I will save you all from that. But Black Veil Brides, we are the outcasts. I'm ready for my ascension. Let's see what the tests are. Let's hope I make it through them. I don't know exactly what kind of tests they will be or what they want you to do. I don't imagine it being anything too crazy, but if it is, I mean, I'll definitely talk about it, because I'm going to try to go all out and make it happen. So wish me luck, and I wish all of you, fellow BVB Army members, if you're listening at all, I wish you guys luck too, because we are the Black Veil Brides Army, and we will not bow down. Thank you so much for listening to all my rambles. I hope my voice wasn't too hoarse, and in saying all of this, thank you for discovering the music within.